yourself. You don't want to be happy in good economic times and sad in bad economic times. You want to feel good in all economic times, and then the good economic time will follow you wherever you go. You've got to take control of your vibration unconditionally. Unconditional creating, unconditional vibration. I feel good. Why do you feel good? They're losing the game. I feel good because I want to feel good. And whether they win or lose does not control the way I feel. It's the emotion that I'm in control of. This is the thing that we wish for all of you. We don't want you to learn to control conditions so that you can win the game. We want you to learn to control the vibration of your being so that you can feel good in the game, win or lose, you see. We want the conditions to be irrelevant. And once you do that, you'll win way more games. Once you do that, more of the things that you want will flow into your experience. And it is a noticeable factor, isn't it? Those of you who have been living it. It's noticeable. Life just gets better and better. The conditions reflect the vibration you've practiced. It's just the way it is. You get what you think about, whether you want it or not. The question is, do you know what you're thinking about? Or have you grown so accustomed to negative emotion that you don't even know you're thinking thoughts that have wobble in them until they get really, really big wobbles when it's harder to change the momentum? Isn't that what we're talking about all day here today? You put up with negative emotion. You're not picky enough because you haven't trained yourself to care about the basis of who you really are. And then the wobble gets bigger and bigger, and then there's a point of no return. There's a point where that car is moving so fast with that momentum that it is unlikely that you will stop it if you are giving your attention to the conditions. But there is never a momentum that cannot be stopped if you start at the heart of it, which is emotional. Every time. There is not one of you who have a negative emotion that within 2 minutes or about you couldn't change to a positive emotion if you would let it be unconditional and just focus upon the emotion itself. So you take some situation where you're feeling a strong emotion, and the reason you feel the emotion is because the conditions are so rampant, they're vibrating in such a strong way, there's such momentum about them that you seemingly can't get your mind off the condition. And you can't figure out how to sort the condition out to make it look better, and so you can't get there from there. But if you take a word like fear and love, and you don't tie the emotion to the condition, somehow you just take deliberately, you focus away from the condition that is keeping it active and just focus upon two simple emotions, fear and love. There they are, right there. Fear and love. They're just emotions. One feels terrible, one feels delicious. They're just two emotions. Do you have a preference about them? Yeah, I prefer love. Yeah. Have you ever felt love? Yeah, I felt love. Now be careful, don't get wobbly. Have you ever felt love? You like to feel love? You like to love? It's nice to love. Feeling of love is nice. Feeling of love is nice. Feeling of fear, not so much. Fear, love, fear, love. There's a clarity in love. There's a scatteredness in fear. Yeah, I like the clarity of love. Yeah, I choose love. I really like the feeling of love. I like to be loved. I like to love. I like to appreciate things. I like to be appreciated. I really like that concept. I love the idea of emotion. I love emotion. I love that emotion is guidance. I love what love means. I love knowing what love means. Feeling of love, I like that feeling of love. Feeling of love means source is flowing with me, and I'm right there on the same vibe. We're getting each other. We're in agreement. I like that feeling. I like the feeling of being in alignment with source. I like the empowerment that being in alignment with source gives me. None of you were really in fear when we were talking about that, but can you see how easy it is if you just break it down to the simple question, do I choose fear or do I choose love? And you leave out all the conditions that you might be living that make you feel afraid. Are you afraid of the economy? Well, that's just dumb. Because the economy has no control over you. And if your attention to the economy is causing you to feel fear, well, you could choose a feeling of steadiness over fear if you would try. And if you would, your economy would shift within a day. We're not kidding. A day. One day. Try it. You're really going to like it. Just try it. It's not easy to find words about emotions because emotions are so general they don't have words. So would you rather be with somebody, maybe they're new in your experience, and you're just chatting it up, telling them how much you love them? Or would you rather just love them? Why do you need so much for them to know? Because you're trying to get something back from them. But if you weren't trying so hard to get it back from them, so you're just loving them, now you're in that vibration. Does that make sense to you? So now have this partner that you're sparring with be the economy. So the economy hasn't been very good to you, feeling a little defensive about it. Sort of like to tell them off. But now, just break it down to do you want to feel defensive or do you want to feel abundant? Do you want to feel without or do you want to feel with? Do you want to feel afraid or do you want to feel secure? Just break it down emotionally. Just break it down emotionally and ask yourself which you'd rather feel. And then focus on what secure feels like until you find the feeling place of secure. It's easy. You can do it in a minute or two. And then watch what happens. Watch how the universe will deliver to you realizations that feel secure. And it's not going to be long before you will convince yourself that you are the center of your universe, that the energy that creates worlds is flowing to you and through you, and that you have absolute control over what you let in or what you keep out. And it's important to know that if you hadn't been asking, you wouldn't be summoning. So here you are. It's such an interesting thing. You're standing there. You've been asking for things for a long time. You've really got a strong momentum of asking going. Strong momentum of asking. But you've been chatting it up with yourself and others about how bad things are, about how lonely you are, about how stuff's not coming, how the economy's bad for you. So you're asking and pushing and asking and pushing and asking and pushing and asking and pushing. Talk about a wobble. You're asking for it and not letting it in, and asking for it and not letting it in, and asking for it and not letting it in. And then you think, oh, I'll fix that. I'll just stop asking. And we say, you can't stop asking. You've already asked. The momentum of your desire is already powerful. We have not had this conversation before. The momentum of your desire is so powerful that if you are to feel the emotions that you want, you've got to relax your attention upon the conditions that are blocking them and let them in. Next time you hear yourself saying about something that you want, that it's hard or it's not coming, stop and laugh at the absurdity of that statement, now knowing what you know. Say it the way you want to say it. Say it as easy and as clear as you can. So your kids are squabbling and you want them to stop. And so you tell them to stop. Do they? So you separate them. And the fight just gets louder because they're fighting from a distance. And then you start taking things away from them that are important to them. Give me your iPad. Does it stop the momentum? Does it change the behavior? It might change the behavior a little bit, but it doesn't stop the momentum. And in many ways, you're sort of doing that to yourselves. You're holding yourself hostage. You're mad at yourself. You are. You're mad at yourself for all the things you want that haven't been coming. How's that working out? Does it make them come faster? You need a different approach. You got to love yourself. You just got to love yourself. You just got to make where you are all right. Just got to make where you've been all right. Never mind where you've been, never mind where you're going. Just make where you are right now all right. And we've had enough discussion, enough varieties, enough different subjects for you to realize that it's the same answer to every question. Boring, isn't it? Same answer to every question. You've just got to find a way of softening your resistance so you're not pushing away the thing that you're calling to you at the same time. So when you first wake up in the morning, there's little or none of that going on. but a whole bunch of what you've asked for coming to you. Ooh, that's such a sweet spot, that first thing in the morning, where everything that you want is flowing energetically and powerfully to you. So how are you going to meet this day? With love, apprehension, being mad at yourself, being mad at somebody else? What's the emotion that you're going to choose? And as you say, I'm just going to chill. I'm going to love myself and others as best I can. That's what I'm going to do. You won't be very far into this, very far down the road, before this push-pull that you've got going on will stop. And you'll be moving on this clear path where the inspiration is flowing to you so abundantly that you will realize that sometimes the solution and the problem show up right at the same time, just because it's so fun to be the brilliant being that you are. You love the adventure of all of this. You love rising to all of it. You love being the powerful creator of your own experience. You love being the synthesizer, the decider. You love deciding what you want. There's just no better feeling in all of the world than to have identified a desire, to have reconciled your own vibration about it, and then to watch the abundance with which the universe delivers it to you. So that all day, every day, perfect timing, 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 until you cannot feel more blessed. It just feels to you that the entire universe is on your side, because it is. And do you know, you are the only one with any power that has ever been not on your side. And you know why you've not been on your side? Because you've been exploring conditions and coming to flawed conclusions. You've been disallowing yourself from the realization of where the path is, and then beating up on yourself for not being on the path. And then making stuff up about why you're not on the path. I had a bad childhood. I must not have been worthy when I was born. I must have been very bad in a past life. There must be some lesson that I'm here to learn. We say no to any of that. You just got on some conditional thinking early on. Conditional thinking where you can't control the vibration of those conditions because the conditions got the momentum going too fast, and then you just couldn't find your place. And that's why every teacher we know that has any beneficial results in helping people find what they want teaches meditation. Because when you quiet your mind, you stop thought. When you stop thought, you stop resistance. And when you stop resistance, the wobble is not there. And when the wobble is not there, the path shows up for you in a very clear way.